Germany has come to a virtual standstill for this game. Kirsten Gareth-Breakers on the left there has taken over the captaincy from Birgit Prince. Amari Sawa, who scored a hat-trick for Japan earlier on in the tournament. But Japan have never beaten Germany in international competition. Japan's lineup as expected, including two players very well known to the Germans because they play here in the Bundesliga, Duisburg striker Kazui Ando and Yuko Nagasato, who plays for the champions Potsdam.
And the real engine in the middle, though, for Japan will be Homare Sawa. 5th World Cup for her. As you mentioned, Ian, a hat-trick earlier in this tournament. As she plays, Japan goes.
Of course, a sellout in Wolfsburg. A look at these substitutes, including Birgit Prince, the fallen idol, I suppose you might call it. Will she get to lift the trophy even if Germany win this Women's World Cup in her hometown of Frankfurt in just over a week's time? Looking happier now, bared her soul and won a lot of plaudits at a press conference yesterday. Inka Grings preferred at the moment and with a great striking record.
I think it was great that she did that with the press conference because that is atypical of Birgit Prince. She typically is very private.
Amari Sawa, could this be her last World Cup? It is her 5th. She would be pushing 37 years of age if she's to appear in Canada in 4 years' time. Fantastic player. She's been for Japan. It's Kim Kulik, who's back in the lineup tonight, one of 3 players on a yellow card and who would miss the semi-final should they pick up another one tonight in the German lineup. The others are Lauder and the central defender Kran. It is a sunlit evening here. The domestic TV audience in Germany is pushing 20 million, which means that 1 in 4 of the population are glued to this match tonight, which is quite incredible, really.
You can see the enthusiasm in the stadium. We've seen it daily on the streets. Everywhere you turn, you see posters of the team up. It's great to see how this country has embraced this tournament.
And Germany getting us underway, unbeaten in their last 15 World Cup matches, and they've won 14 of them. Big favourites to be too good for Japan here. They've won 7 of the 8 meetings between these two sides in history. Lauder is down straight away. One of the things that Japan are going to need in this game is to match Germany for physicality.
No question. They're going to have some bite, and that's actually something we'll talk about, but that is needed for sure.
Flicked on by Dan Barbie, who's been a big hit in this tournament. So let's have a look at your keys then, Julie, to the game.
Well, starting with Japan, if you start with that one, combine their possession with their bite, and then the second one is not to give up set pieces. For obvious reasons, Germany will win that aerial battle.
Here's Sameshima. This game coming some 4 months after the terrible earthquake and tsunami which took the lives of at least 18,000 Japanese people. If this side can lift the spirits just a little with their performance here, they've already done that really, it would be so much to the good. Sylvia Knight, the coach who actually scored against Japan the winning goal in the 1995 World Cup. She was some player as well as some coach.
And typically you don't think of Japan as a set-piece corner kick type of team, but they've scored 3 times on corners in this tournament.
Corner kick to the near post, attacked by Sawa, who's been so much the star player for so long for Japan. So what have Germany got to do here, do you think, Julie?
Well, first of all, they've got to play a physical game. They cannot let Japan dictate the rhythm of this game with their possession. And the second one is good services in the box. because, again, they're going to win that aerial duel. And Japan's keeper, Kaori, isn't known to come out well on crosses.
Peter knocking it long. It was Shimizu let that run. Thought a goalkeeper was going to get it. Instead, Grings did. And did it quite cleverly. Good covering by Kinga, the ever-present right back. Yukari Kinga. And there's the coach. Very nice man he is too. Norio Sasaki led Japan to 4th place in the Olympic Games, their best ever women's soccer performance in a major tournament. And Germany will be a big threat from the corner kicks. The goalkeeper's come for that. Didn't win it. Kulik was there on the back post. Has picked up an injury to her right knee by the look of it, and trying to get that header away, and looks in some pain.
And this is where Germany is so dangerous. Look at Kulik just climbing on that back post, unable to get it on frame. Let's see how she lands on it. Hard to see from that angle. There you have it.
And staying down as well, Kim Kulik, who's been such a star in this tournament, a Hamburg player. He made a breakthrough at the European Championships in 2009. We just hope that that is something that might settle down quite quickly. Not far away. That's a big problem for Japan, Julie, here. Their average height is only 5'4". The Germans 5'8", and they've got players taller than that, like Gareth Frakes and Kulik.
They're the tallest team in this World Cup, so that will be a constant threat today. And this is something Germany will be watching closely, because an early loss of Kulig would be a tough one on the team.
We'll be playing with 10 women for the time being here. The hosts and favourites, Germany. Front page news everywhere in this country. If women's football was as big everywhere else as it is in Germany, the game really would be flying. And she's going to give it a go, I think. Now they're giving a wave to the bench saying, I think, no good. So they're going to have to replace Kulik straight away here. Just saw a sign from the physio over towards Sylvia Knight and the team, I think, saying that's no good. Now that does look a problem which might be ongoing. I wonder whether that is a threat to her further participation in this tournament. There's only a week just over to run, and doesn't look good, does it?
No, and you can see the pain she's in, not able to even put much weight on it, walking off the field. They just got Behringer back, number 7 for Germany, with a sprained ankle, so this is another setback for Germany.
They could bring Ariana Hingst on, very experienced, to play in the midfield. Gersling, who played in the last game, could come on as well, I guess. Just been transferred, Gersling, to the club which plays in this town, Wolfsburg. Looked like a foul, that on Grings, by Kumagai, who's the biggest of the defenders, but she's only 5'7". Kinga, who played every game now at the last couple of World Cups. I think one of the things here too for Japan is Babette Peters down now. There's a lot of players injured in the opening minutes of this game, and that's out.
You can see when she finishes this tackle coming through, gets her.
That's her Potsdam teammate, by the way, Nagasato. Yeah. I think that's all forgotten for this. Nagasato said, I'm going to spoil Germany's dream. I'm going to score twice here for Japan. There's big talk.
Yeah, suddenly country comes before club.
And it's right back Bianca Schmidt who's coming on, interestingly. Lauder trying to turn and cause some problems. One thing Japan do usually, if they're allowed to, is keep the ball well. This is Ando, who plays in Germany for Duisburg. Several of the German players in the Duisburg squad themselves, they know all about her. She's a good player. Inka Grings now runs the other play.
Yeah, this is an interesting substitution. We'll see what's happening there. Breznik is coming into the midfield. So Breznik, the right back, pops in as the holding midfielder next to Lader, and Schmidt goes at right back. Schmidt plays at Potsdam, so very familiar with Nagasato.
It is an interesting change. I wonder what Ariana Hinks thinks, but it's a heartbreaker this for Kim Kulig, who's in tears there. I wonder if she's thinking that might be my World Cup over.
And players have a good instinct for that. You know when it's not right. That sign right there, those tears, tells me it's not right.
All the other players trying to console her. There's a lot of pain there. And I think they'll probably have to think, even before the 90 minutes are over here, of getting her to hospital and getting that scan. But it has to settle down, doesn't it, first, Julie, that injury, before they can really assess it.
But that's pretty disruptive to that midfield, because Lader and Kulig have spent so much time together as that defensive holding midfield presence in this 4-2-3-1 system. It's not easy just to push Breznik in at the right back position into the middle.
Gareth Rakis. Rings waiting in the middle. Japan's smooth progress at this World Cup was halted by England, who beat them in the final group game. And they won the previous two. Gareth Rakis coming through again, pulling it back. Behringer was closing in, well cleared by Kinga under pressure, but Germany looking dangerous.
And a nice entrance by Breznik into that midfield, because she's the one who played that ball in to Gareth Rakis there.
You really do feel for Kim Kulig, who's done so well for Germany. And it does rather look as if it might all be snatched away.
Here was the Breznik ball in. A nice little chip back by Gareth Rakis to try and get a seam in there. She's been so dangerous on that right-hand side for Germany this World Cup. Both playmaking, getting to the end line, and scoring goals for them. 2 goals for her in this tournament.
Germany, should they go through tonight, will meet the winner of the Australia-Sweden quarter-final in Frankfurt. They would play their semi-final and final in Frankfurt, which is kind of the headquarters for German women's football. Lovely pass that from Breznik to Gareth Rakis, who for once just lost their bearings. Lauder looking to play the 1-2 with her. Yes, good covering by the number 15, Aya Samashima. A player whose club closed down in Japan because of the earthquake in the locality. And she's been signed up for Boston Breakers in the United States, the left back, Samashima.
I do think this is an area Germany can exploit, though. Samashima on that left side. Germany's right side is someone they're going to want to go at. And you can see already Japan imposing a more physical style. They didn't against England and paid the price.
Dangerous free kick. Melanie Behringer over her sprained ankle quickly, and the moment she was fit again, back in the side in place of the darling of the crowds, Lira Bayramai.
And there's Gareth Rakis in the middle, number 18 for Germany, jostling for position. She's going to be their main target player. 6 feet tall about.
Gareth Rakis has scored with 2 headers already in the tournament as well. Behringer puts that into the danger zone. Brilliant piece of work by Kumagai from underneath the bar to get that out. That wasn't an easy header either.
And a very good ball in by Behringer, because those are so hard to deal with as a goalkeeper when they came whipping in like that.
Too long for Kinga. One area where Japan could be dangerous is if they get free kicks around the edge of the box, because in Aya Miyama, they've got one of the best in the world. I remember scoring a couple against England in the last World Cup. She's already got one in this tournament as well. Deadly.
Very much so. American fans may be familiar with her days when she played at the LA Soul, with the LA Soul.
She was voted in the WPS All-Star team in 2009. Aya Miyama, number 8, playing on the left side of midfield for Japan tonight. For a long time in this tournament, we thought it was all shaping up for a Germany-USA semi-final. That now will not happen. Remember, USA in what is a massive game tomorrow in Dresden against Brazil. Huge game. Can they pass that test? And that game available from 11 a.m. to you on ESPN. Don't miss it. USA v Brazil, the glamour game so far of this Women's World Cup, and available too on ESPN3.com. That time again to tune in is 11 a.m. Eastern. Again by Kumagai, giving a good account of herself there at the back. She's going to have a big job today. Big job. Gareth Freitas, who has a sort of roaming role, sometimes on the right, sometimes on the left, swapping over with Behringer, as and when they please, it seems. Just to confuse the opposition, you understand.
I love that they do that, and there's the flexibility to do that.
Long towards Stambavi, you've got to nudge it. The goalkeeper changed balance. There was a foul, I think, anyway there, so it wouldn't have counted.
And here's the served ball in. Down Bobby actually caught running backwards. Hard to even get anything on it in that position. Ball just played a little bit in behind her.
She nearly invented something very clever, didn't she, here as well, with the knee. Look at that.
Yeah, that she actually got that on frame.
Did you see a foul there?
I did not.
The referee did. Didn't matter because the goalkeeper made the save anyway. When Japan did make the Olympic semi-final, they were beaten by Germany by a couple of goals to nil that year. Nicely done. Good work in the midfield by Samashima. Shimizu taking her time. Princess got away from her here. And then rather got the ball caught under her feet. Japan were grateful about that. Dan Barbie tries to find Lauder, who will come forward at every opportunity from central midfield. Japan will have to play on the break here and be clever with it. This is Ando, the Duisburg player. Nicely done. Shot from a long way out. Ando had to watch that from Sakaguchi.
And that whole series started from an early ball from Aya Miyama to try and get them on a counter, and I like that. This is going to be a bit tough against a goalkeeper of Anger's quality from outside. But good, quick play by Miyama to try and catch Germany in a counter.
Shimazu, Ando, very, very cleverly done that, using her body to lay that into the path of her colleague. Japan, I think, had almost an 80% success with their completion of passes in the big win they had over Mexico. They really just toyed with them. And
they're so fun to watch because of that. Every single player on the field is good on the ball. The issue always for Japan has been, what do you do with that possession? Can you be stronger in the final third? And can you be physically able to deal with teams like Germany? And here's why. Look at what these teams bring. There's Behringer getting a right elbow in on Sawa.
A bit free with the elbow there, Behringer. Here's Babette Peter, who was involved in the incident in which Christine Sinclair of Canada broke her nose earlier on in the tournament in the very first game. That seems like about 5 years ago to me now.
That was such an unfortunate circumstance, too, for Canada.
We've covered 2,500 miles, you know, since then. That's like going from the East Coast to the West.
To New York.
Yeah. And more to come tonight as well.
I thought Germany was so big.
That's all fun, really. Lovely ball from Miyama. And towards Nakasoto. She's dangerous. Potsdam player. They know all about her in Germany. She was prolific in the Champions League this season. Potsdam got to the final. Nagasato didn't play in it because of a back injury. A bit unlucky that. She's at the World Cup, though.
And brimming with confidence with those statements. I'm going to put in 2 tonight.
You like that sort of thing, don't you?
Well, I like the confidence. I'm not sure I would do it so overtly. Similar to what we saw with Yoreli Rincon, this 17-year-old from Colombia, talking she's like she was the next Marta, but didn't back it up on the field, unfortunately.
Put it down to experience. She's only 17. Sometimes you say it best when you say nothing at all, like the words of the old song. Sakaguchi, good player in the centre of the midfield. And Japan's play at times has the hallmarks of composure, something some teams in this tournament have markedly lacked, trying to force the play a little too much. Japan are more patient in their build-up usually. Sakaguchi did well there. Need to be quite dexterous to get that pass away. It is Shimizu. Simona Laudau. Nishidan Brezenik, good player, can play midfield as well, it seems. He's already played a couple of good passes. Garafokis will be pulled up for that. Now, a bit controversial. Crowd didn't like it. What was wrong?
I don't see much on this. Let's see. She's coming in from the backside, going for the ball, gets the ball. I say that's a no foul right there. Bad call again, I think, by the referee. And that's another ball in by Brezenik. She's stepped from right back into the center and midfield seamlessly.
Japan bidding to reach the World Cup semi-finals for the very first time in their history. They've only got this far once before, and that was 16 years ago when they were knocked out by 4-0 by the USA. Cross Ando. Peter gets it out of harm's way. Not very far, though, to Sakaguchi, who picks out a good pass. Maruyama.
Should have been a handball earlier on. No call from the referee.
And launches it downfield. It's just an up and under, really. Some people in the crowd seem to think that was rather good. Japan have lost it. Good pressure from the Germans. That's what they'll do. And away goes Dan Barbie, who's clever. A little attempted chip. You could see the idea.
Good to get Dan Bobby involved a little bit, and she is known to be a very good goal scorer, but she did have Garafrekis trying to overlap her on the left side. There's another Lauder foul or tackle.
"20 minutes gone, no breakthrough yet for Germany, who crucially, maybe crucially, have lost one of their key players, Kim Kulik, to what looks like a serious injury, judged by her tearful reaction on the bench. Ono plays the ball round the corner. Very speedy player, Ono, playing on the right-hand side, but she could play up front as well. USA twice beat Japan on the eve of the tournament, and both times by 2-0, with Amy Rodriguez scoring in both of those games.
And Japan gaining confidence 20 minutes in, and you can see coming into this environment they have nothing to lose. This quarterfinal game, all the pressure is on Germany as hosts.
Foul by Brezenik, who reveals pre-kickoff she listens to Lady Gaga tapes to get her in the mood for games. Takes anything, I guess.
I prefer Jimmy Buffett myself, but
Peter chasing. And he's going to be pulled back for the free kick. Did you listen to tapes when you were playing before matches? Music?
Eight
I can't
tracks.
imagine that.
You've heard my singing a little bit, haven't you?
You like a bit of Aretha Franklin on the team, our team bus. Mind you, it's the only tape we've got, barring the one from our driver. I won't tell you anything more about that.
And here's what Japan wants to avoid, though. A set piece in the box. Again, Garafrekis on that back post. Behringer is going to whip this one in. She takes most of their set pieces, so I would imagine she's going to step up, number 7 here.
And Peter can deliver a mean ball as well, as we saw the other night against France. Tis Behringer. Takes some defending. Garafrekis is in there. Couldn't quite finish it off. Kirsten Gareth-Frakers, who has a habit of getting the first goals in matches. She's done that 4 times in her career in the World Cup.
It's in that weird spot that's right in between. You don't know whether to head it or to volley it, and it looked like she took a little bit of hesitation with that. We used to call it the no man's land.
Heroic defending again from Kumagai, not for the first time. Japan have really got to work hard, I think, in not giving away corners and set pieces, because Germany obviously have an advantage in that direction.
And there's only so many you can give before you get punished by a German side like they have.
It'll be a goal kick. Lovely touch, by the way, before the kickoff here tonight. All the Japanese players went onto the pitch, held up a big banner thanking everybody in Germany for their support, and they got a rousing reception from the fans here.
It's so great to see the support and pride they're playing with.
It's such a difficult time, of course, for their country. Another of the players, Maruyama, she was flying into Tokyo Airport when the earthquake and tsunami hit, and her house was damaged. I think things are okay now, and she lost 4 friends. This is Ono using her pace, and there was in a bit of space, didn't get the ball. Now it was all too tight, gap was closed. They're one of the easiest teams on the eye in the tournament for me, Japan. Very comfortable on the ball, most of them.
And I think right now they're getting a lot of time on the ball. Germany seems to not be able to put any pressure on the ball. And when Japan has time, they can be dangerous.
And we saw in the first game, not for long, mind you, Canada ended up having a bit of a nightmare in the tournament. We saw that if you get the ball down and play some football in front of that German defence, you can create things against them. Whether Japan can do that will be fascinating to see here. But they're growing in confidence a little. Bartusiak. Defence changes very little, usually, for Germany. But they have conceded 3 in this tournament after going through the entire tournament last time, 4 years ago, without conceding any.
And all of those have come on set pieces for Germany.
A reminder that France are already through to the semi-finals, winning a penalty shootout against England and coming from behind in the match and the shootout to prevail. Typical England, penalty shootout defeat. Where have I heard that before?
Oh, the pain of the English.
Yep. Ando pulls it back. Kran, fixture in that centre of defence. Looking to work the little 1-2. And Germany, how quickly can they counter here? They need to get those blue shirts back behind the ball quickly, and they've done exactly that, Japan. Schmidt was on a substitute for Kulik.
And Don Bobby, who plays in that seam between Japan's midfield and back line, number 13 for Germany, just having a tough time holding the ball for them tonight. Seems almost to be a little fatigued watching her off the ball.
There's some pleasing football from Japan. I think the big question is if they can turn some of this possession play into punch and threat and menace.
And outside of Sawa's dominance for them for many years, they just haven't found that prolific goal scorer that can do that for them up front. Nagasato is promising. They have a young kid, 19-year-old Iwabuchi, who we may see in the second half, who's very promising.
she's a really good player.
Sorry, 18-year-old.
Yeah, 18-year-old. That's right. Sawashima helping it forward towards Nagasato. The ball didn't quite have enough pace on it. Didn't reach its target. Iwashimazu doing the covering. 3 times voted in the best 11 of the L League, which is Japan's national league. It's been going for 20 years now. Sawa, well known to American fans. Andu springing away from Bartusiak. Good turn. Miyama doing well. Taken down. Japan are playing well here.
Japan playing very well and given a lot of space on the ball. I'm surprised actually how much space they have. And this ball, Garifreka is trying to come back. If Ando had played Miyama in a little bit more, she may have had more momentum to get forward. Instead, though, they do get a free kick out of this. And can you imagine if they snuck one in the quarterfinal against Germany with all the pressure that's on this team?
Well, I think you'd hear a pin drop, not only in this stadium, but around the nation, as the roads are deserted tonight. Everybody watching this game. It's beautifully done. Ono getting in on the far side. Good, clever move. Not read, really, by the Germans.
I was just going to say, I'm surprised that no one even saw that.
It was Shimazu helping on Bartusiak's lost out here. Nagasato, chance, and pulled horribly wide. That could have been the moment. Yuko Nagasato.
And here was her chance after the talk about scoring 2 goals tonight to actually put one in the back of the net. And what a good look that was. Lucky a little bit to get that deflection forward off her foot. Got to put that one on target.
It could have been the moment. They won't get too many chances, you wouldn't think. Japan, the ones they do get, they've got to make count. Because Germany have looked a threat all tournament long. And here's Kirsten Garifrekes again. Lauder, Brezenik, Behringer got the shot away well. He's always going wide. Wants the corner, not getting it.
Nice sequence though by Germany, and here you see Behringer, who likes to take him from outside. I don't see a deflection either. I think that's a good call by the referee.
Very quick recovery from that sprained ankle from Behringer. Must have some good physios or good equipment, because the desire to play is huge for these players. They don't want to be out of this side. Picked up here by Bianca Schmidt. Garifrekes on that side. Good ball in here. Dan Barbi's first touch has let her down, and the goalkeeper Kaori did the rest valiantly.
And this is what I'm seeing a lot tonight, actually, from Don Bobby, which is atypical of her. I mean, perfect ball in by Behringer, and this first touch just lets her down. Just heavy, and then makes it a 50-50. That is a great ball in, though, by Garifrekes. Sorry, I think I said Behringer. Garifrekes in there, and that first touch just let you down.
And Dan Barbie has scored 6 goals in the last 8 games for Germany. You couldn't say that the chance fell for the wrong player there. Miyama missing out this time. Dan Barbie, that's better. Brings. That's something clever again. Japan strong enough. Fascinating game here. Brezenik. No way through.
Better urgency, though. Better urgency by Germany to try and create something. I'll tell you what, I like that Brezenik in the center of midfield. She has popped right in there from her right back position and been more than fine.
She was among the German players who was praising the press conference given Birgit Prinz, the deposed player who started as Germany's big star and now seems destined for a role on the bench in the chorus line, if you like.
In that, I mean, when you look at the German team and you think of Birgit Prinz, so to see her on the bench and to see her reaction to coming off earlier in the tournament when she threw her captain's armband down and she got so angry, I think it was good that she did that press conference yesterday. Fascinating to hear her say, though, that when she was asked by the coach, was she mentally in the right frame of mind to play after all that, she said, no, I'm not in the right frame of mind. Not many players would have done that, I don't think. No, and really opened up in that press conference saying, I think it was a good decision for her not to play me. I told her not to. Which is not like her. She's usually quite short with the media, I'm told. Not this occasion. Now then, here's Dan Barbie. Grings. Still Grings. No. Coverings there. Again, well played by the number 15, Aya Sanashima. Good start by Japan, holding their own so far, and this is a team who came into the tournament on a run of 4 matches without a victory. 2 of those losses, as we stated earlier, against the United States. Yeah, it just looked a little lightweight, didn't they, against the USA? It was hard to think that they'd make much impact watching those games. Much more bite to their side tonight, which is always the challenge for Japan. I think they've stepped up a couple of gears from those performances against the USA. Much more at it, as players like to say. Peter feeding this wide. Melanie Behringer laying it in. Not accurately enough, though. The ever-present Azusa Iwashimizu is there, winning her 66th cap, the central defender. Sakaguchi across to Homari Sawa. They need her really to pull the strings and be a big player tonight. Sawa, tremendous operator, 170 caps it is now. For the Germans, but that's a little bit artless, and they're not really creating too many chances at the moment, Germany. That might change, of course. It just seemed everything's just one step off almost. Inka Grings is checking for the ball and it's played in behind her. Same with Don Bobby. Andrew doing well to keep that alive. Maruyama. I love the way they just put their foot on the ball, have a think, look up, get their head up and see what's on, and they're nice and patient with it. They all look comfortable on the ball. It's a huge tribute to the coach, Norio Sasaki, this. And look what it's done to the crowd here in Germany. When this game started, there were flags waving, they were going crazy. Now it has really quieted them. Grings plays it in. Dan Barbie, who's already missed one opportunity. Good quick feet by the defenders to get it away. Not far enough, though. Back in by Bresnik. Good shout by the goalkeeper. Leave that to me, says Aymar Kayori, who's now the number 1. There was a real battle for the place. They used 3 goalkeepers in qualification. Kayori's come out on top. And that has been another challenge for Japan, is finding a goalkeeper of height and quality in their country. They've even gone to volleyball players and basketball players trying to find them. Sawa, hoping that Nagasato can make something of that. Nagasato with that big opportunity. And that's the player they would have wanted to have the opportunity, because she's banged in 32 goals for her country at the rate of nearly 1 every 2 games. And Nagasato trying to fight to win that on the inline. Vivette Peter doing a very good job of just shielding the ball and letting it run over. Schmidt plays it forward to Gada Freikas. If there's a taller player in the tournament, I'm struggling to recall who that might be. And she's made that pay with 2 Reynard, maybe.
Headers. Reynard, yeah, you might have a point. Yep.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Didn't play today, did she? I don't
no.
think. Good pressing by Japan, and Sawa's picked a great ball. Terrific awareness of where the space was. Ono to chip it forward towards Nagasato. Decent idea from Japan. A lot of people looked at this game and saw what England did against Japan and thought, this won't be easy for Germany, but they thought, it's going to be a bit of a formality. They'll win it 2 or 3-0. Maybe they still will, but at the moment, Japan are giving a thoroughly good account of themselves here. A lot of neutrals, of course, on the side of Japan after the tragedy suffered by the nation.
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge of this quarterfinal matchup, is you almost want a harder team in that quarterfinal game. Like that's why I think the U.S.-Brazil matchup is a good one for U.S.
Decent idea by Maruyama. Trick to pick up Nagasato. Ando trying to make a little breakthrough herself. For me, there's no team I've seen in this tournament who keeps the ball better and plays the passing game than Japan, whatever ends up happening in this game.
The next level for them is, can they finish in that final third? It's one thing to play a nice possession game in the middle third, but what do you got when you come to that final third against an anger and a defensive back line that Germany has?
That's why there's been no goals here so far, but it is a fascinating equation. Germans being made to work for this a little bit at the moment. It's a very strong player, Brezhnev, nicely cut out. Sakaguchi. Ono lost it in midfield. That's what they can't afford to be doing. Germans pickpocketed the ball away from them. Dalinger. Dambabi. Foot up by Cecilia Okoyino Dambabi.
Dambabi coming in on the backside. Looks like she got something in the eye there, but again, just doesn't seem like Inka Grings and Dambabi tonight are playing off each other.
Well, the crowd seem to think that Japan are wasting time. Some of them anyway. They'll be pretty keen to get to half-time with the score still goals. And then they can have another think about it. Japan, we've already seen real drama in the first of the quarterfinals. There's this one, and 6:30 a.m. Eastern. The World Cup quarterfinals continue on Sunday with Sweden taking on Australia. Remember, late morning Eastern, it's the USA's big game against Brazil. All games available on ESPN3.com as well. And whoever wins out of Sweden-Australia, there'll be surprise semi-finalists. I know Sweden are ranked 5 in the world, but they shocked the United States. The word is confidence is still good in the camp. We think Heather O'Reilly will be fit to play. I think that's important too.
Trained today with the U.S. team. That will be a huge help, getting her speed back on that right side of midfield.
And they'll need to work too on a plan to counter the speed of Marta and Christiane and Rosanna. Needs to be a lot tighter, the United States performance defensively.
Inka Green's complaining about that call, and this is why. Brezhnev's just coming through. She comes a little high on the ball, but I think that's a clean tackle again.
Kinga inside. Always somebody in space wanting the ball. Sakaguchi looks a little chip behind. Didn't quite get there. It would be a shock of major proportions if Japan were to upset Germany here. Ando chipped in behind again. Oh no, needs to get an early cross away and didn't do that with Nagasato waiting in the middle.
But this is one way you can break Germany down as a midfield or a forward checks in. Center back goes with them and they're drawing them out just a little bit and then trying to get in behind.
Told that some members of the United States team are actually watching the match at Big Blue, our travelling vehicle. I'm sure you've seen it all around Germany. It's over in the Dresden area. Good luck to all those players for that big game tomorrow. And you are the latest from the camp today, of course, a little later on. Half-time approaching here. Here's Dan Barbie. Of course, the United States still believe, and I think Pia Sundhage, the coach, said even after the defeat against Sweden, she came out, she faced the press, and she said, I've just told the players, you're going to reach the final, you're going to play Germany in the final.
It's such a great quality that she has, this calmness and no panic. I remember that in the 2008 Olympics. I was so impressed by that.
Lauder, quite quiet so far. Remember Kim Kulig, big story, off in the opening moments of the game with what looks like a bad injury. We'll get more on that, of course, later on. Gareth Frakes playing it wide. Schmidt plays it in towards Grings. The excellent Kuma guy was there first. Quick to read it. She's been vital at the back so far.
And I think Sylvia Neid for Germany is going to make some changes, and I'm guessing Alexander Popp is one of them. Don Bobby just hasn't been quite on her game tonight, as we've seen in prior games. Maybe even a little Birgit Prince might come in.
Down Barbie. Oh, Grings here, chance. Well, that's set up nicely for the volley, but unlike Grings, she produced no kind of effort at all, really.
And here's the Grings. Nice, lets it come across her body, but needed it just to drop a little bit more. And going back to the Prince substitution, I think actually it would be good to get her in here because you're going to need her down this line. 3 games, she's going to have some inspired play. We know that.
I just wonder whether they might need her deep-lying craft. Somebody to just come in and do something like Kulig. You can see the tracks of the tears, really. Do feel sorry for her.
Terrible. Terrible. And she was having such a good tournament. We don't know what the news is yet, but when you have a reaction like that from a player, it's never typically good.
Bartusia, on and on and on. Grings, again, Kumagai, very, very strong, and that's what Japan need. They don't want to be outpowered. And Saki Kumagai from Urawa Reds. She's had a stormer.
And Japan has to be encouraged by this. I mean, Grings wants something off of that, but just getting her off balance there, you can see the frustration on the German faces.
That's half-time. Frustration for Germany. Still got 45 minutes to do something about it. Japan have played well. It's half-time in Wolfsburg. No goals. Kim Kulig, that looks like the end of her tournament. Stay tuned for the half-time report as we continue our coverage of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2011.